even jumped up to touch the backboard before being tackled by security. The Wizards already said the fan will be banned from the stadium, while Scott Brooks shared his opinion on the latest fan behavior across the league. Check it out.
It's unfortunate that one fan here and there, they ruin it for everyone. There's great fans in Boston, in New York, in Philly, in D.C., in Utah. But there's some that need to just know, you know what, stay home. Your thinking is barbaric. Stay home. We don't need you. We don't need your dollars. Just stay home. Get away from us.
Some strong words. So, Shannon, after another NBA fan incident last night, just explain what is going on here in your opinion.
Skip, I think this was some more of a copycat. This was somebody that was just wanting attention. I mean, run on the court and try to touch the backboard. That's what this was. I think this incident was different than those, although it was the same, a fan thinking this was about him and not about the players actually on the court. But this is what you get, so I'm not surprised that, fans, a lot of times, everywhere you go, Skip, no matter what sport, we got the best fans.
Yeah.
Cowboys say we got the best fans. Steelers say, no, we got the best fans. Packers say we got the best fans.
That's right.
Well, Boston say we got the best fans. OKC say we got the best. So everybody believes. And so the fans like, okay, well, if you got the best, what makes y'all so good? I mean, we can get rowdy.
Yeah.
The Knicks, because for the longest, it's been so long since the Knicks have had a playoff game.
Yep.
So the way they reward having a playoff game, they exhibit this kind of behavior. And the Celtics have been going to the playoffs, but they were in the bubble last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I look, this incident for me, although it's still shameful, I believe this was a copycat. This was a guy trying to get some attention. And I would have preferred they not even show, we don't even see who this is. Now, Skip, when you start throwing things, we need to get the cameras in because we got camera angles, because we need to make sure you get the right person. In the spitting incident, make sure we get the right person.
Yeah.
So show their faces. Let them be a disgrace. But, Skip, people have been squeaking and then running on the court. I think Morgana, she started this back in the 70s, Skip, when she was running on the field.
The kissing bandit.
When she was running on the field, kissing, dodging pitchers and players and things like that. So she might have been the first one to start this.
Yeah.
And then it's gone from there. But I think this situation is different than the other three because I don't know if this had anything to do with hatred or dislike or anything like that. This was a guy that was just seeking attention, running on the court. And so I judge this as different, but the behavior is still abhorrent because you don't need to be on the court. You didn't pay to get on the court. You don't pay to get on the field.
Yeah.
You pay to watch the game and be entertained and hopefully your team win. But if they don't, you're like, okay, go home and don't be a jackleg and run on the court or throw things.
Yeah. Is it possible this fan was inspired by all the media attention?
Yes.
Focused on each of the other three incidents?
Yep.
Maybe.
Yep.
At least this wasn't malicious intent.
Right.
This wasn't threatening to players, I don't think.
Right.
He got a running start, ran all the way down through the box seat area and leaped and hit. I think he just
tried to touch the backboard.
Yeah, okay.
He ain't have no ups. He couldn't get it.
No. And then he got tackled by security, and that was the end of that. Well, to keep this in context of your sport, how many times since the 70s have we seen streakers in your games? Like somebody's going to run out with no clothes on and just try to streak and outrun
It happened
security.
in the Super Bowl, remember?
And it's happened many, many times.
Mike Curtis tackled one with the old Baltimore Colts.
He did. So that's not new.
Right.
And I'm trying to think of, the one good thing about the NBA, we haven't seen a lot of fans onto the court.
No.
Do you remember back in, what was the date? It was March of 2013. LeBron was back in Cleveland with the Heat, and a kid, just a crazy LeBron fanatic, came out on the court with a LeBron T-shirt on that said, "We miss you, come back in 2014."
LeBron gave him a hug.
Well, he wanted to, but he wanted to tell him face to face, please come back.
Right.
And before he could even talk to LeBron, obviously, he got
grabbed him up,
Okay. So, but there was no malicious intent.
And LeBron said he didn't feel threatened
He did not.
by the kid.
And LeBron actually seemed disappointed he didn't get to say a quick word to the kid like thank you or whatever because it was over fast.
Right.
Okay, well, that's the only other one I know where somebody went out onto the court.
Especially, Skip, during the game. Now, we see games in which the game is over and the championship is won and they flood the court. We see the Celtics and Larry Bird is pushing his way through the crowd. You see the Lakers. That's a different situation. But during the course of the game, late in the ball game, to actually see someone come on the court, you're right. We haven't seen I don't recall a whole lot of incidents where things of that nature have happened.
So my deeper psychological take on this, it feels like we've all been quarantined for so long that there's this outpouring of freedom and joy of being able to go to a live event that has somehow deeply inspired everybody to do crazy things.
But the same rules are in place.
They are.
You couldn't run on the court before the pandemic. What makes you think you can run on the court after the pandemic? If you remember, it basically ruined Monica Seles' career. That guy jumped on the court, stabbed in the back, and she was never the same. So you don't know.
I'm glad you brought that up. I thought about it, and then I was saying I can't bring that up, but since you broached,
Skip,
that was 1993. She was top-ranked in the world. She was in Hamburg playing Steffi Graf, and a psycho-crazed Steffi fan decided he needs to eliminate her.
Right.
And the changeover benches were right up against the first row, which is that they've changed that since.
Right.
But this is good context for the NBA because we haven't had anything remotely like this.
Yes.
But he went after with a knife with both hands.
Right.
Okay.
And so
Fortunately, it didn't badly hurt her, but it damaged her psychologically. She was gone for 2 years.
Yeah, she was really never the same.
Never the same.
Because prior to that, they couldn't see her. Nobody could touch her. And Steffi Graf was at that time, Skip, she was dominant. Obviously, Martina was still around, but they couldn't. Gabby Sabatino, none of them. They couldn't see this girl. She was going to be it. And he's like, nah, we're not ready for Steffi to go. And he did that. So, Skip,
the context is we haven't had that.
Haven't had that.
Okay, so we had a popcorn pouring incident, which we despise.
Right.
And then we really despise the spitting incident because it's the ultimate sign of
disrespect.
Display of disrespect. And then it got dangerous with attempted assault on the thrown water bottle. Some people say it was empty. It looked like it had water in it.
Yeah, it looked like, for you to throw that, Skip, I don't know if how high, he was way up there.
And he's charged.
Right.
And I hope he's prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Well, they say that they're going to say the bottle was a deadly weapon.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
well, I buy that.
Right.
Okay.
But Skip, when someone runs out there or someone, is right there, you don't know what their intent are. Now, we can say, Skip, it doesn't look like he just wanted to touch the backboard. He just wanted attention.
Well, you wouldn't have known that while he was sprinting down through the box seats.
Exactly. Dwight seemed unfazed by it. Dwight's like really close, like looking at it like, you a big fool. And so, you like you said, Skip, at the time when you're going through an event, you don't know what's on a person's mind.
Yep.
If someone's, yelling and screaming right there, you don't know what a person's going to do.
Would I like the security to be so good that he wouldn't have ever gotten to the basket?
Because I don't know, Skip. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know if the security guard, because normally, Skip, they're facing out. So they're looking at the crowd to make sure. So I don't know what he was thinking that he let it run past him. So he might, hopefully he don't lose his job because he was sleeping at the wheel.
Little asleep at the wheel. I mean, he got him before he actually got out on the floor.
Right.
But to your point, I think he was just showing off.
Right.
And hoping he could show out in the wake of all these incidents where the spotlight is on the crazed fan.
For a second, Skip, I thought, was he going to run the half court? Because he looked like he was going to run the half court.
Yeah,
he thought about it, and then he said, well, let me try to touch the backboard.
Okay.
But this is copycat, Skip. He saw all the attention that the other guys got. He's like, man, I want me a little bit of that, too.
Okay.
Let me get me a little
I'm going to say this one last time. The NBA is the greatest viewing experience in sports to me because it's so intimate and you can get so close. You can hear the trash talk. You can just about smell the sweat if you've got one of the court sides. And I hope that doesn't change because it is great. And I hope these are just rotten apples, just one a night.
Right.
And I hope it calms down and goes away at least for a while.
So do I.
That's a really good point, Skip, because it is a privilege to have that access and to sit up so close and be a part of it. I liked what Scott Brooks said. We don't need you, so stay home, those kind of fans. We do need to talk about Skip Sky, Tim Tebow. Excuse me, I got to get his name right, because it is Tebow time, hurting his own chances of making an NFL roster. There's more to this story. I'll explain next.
No mercy, no mercy.